We are back with Sweet Tea Hot Topics with Rashika. I am super excited to be doing this Hot Topics today because I've kind of been processing the whole Raquel and Bethenny Frankel, the whole Vanderpump. I've been kind of processing it, and everybody has been doing their podcasts and their Instagrams and all this stuff, and they're talking about Rachel, Raquel, Rachel, and Ariana. And I've just been paying attention. I've just been watching and listening and taking it all in. Okay. Wait till I tell you what I've come up with. Sorry, I didn't mean to make that weird sound, but I try to let this stuff cool down. So now you all know the story. You have heard it 1,000 times. I don't necessarily need to recap the whole thing. But if you were paying attention to Vanderpump Rules, you do know that Raquel at the time, got with Tom Sandoval, and they had an 8-9 month affair, and it came out, and Ariana was like, I would have gone to the end of the world with you. And it was super dramatic, and it was like, oh, TV. And we all watched, and we had our own thoughts and feelings about it. And nobody, though, I don't think any of us had any clue, any inclination, any idea that it would go this far. And when I say this far, I mean, I honestly feel that, don't get me wrong when I say this, lots of the people on the show have cheated. I feel that they've all done it. I feel that what Raquel, whatever the heck her name is, and Sandoval, I think what they did was horrible. No one wants to see this kind of thing on television. And we've heard about these types of stories, but I think that Ariana gave raw emotion, as well as I think that Sandoval gave raw emotion, though as he was giving his emotion, I wanted to punch him. So I literally wanted to just, I don't know. So we saw the raw emotion. So I think that we, as an audience, we began to we took it all in. We began to get emotional about it, and we began to take our feelings and insert our feelings in there towards each of them, and we all created some sort of a thing in our minds about Raquel. It's kind of like, how dare you, and how can you do such a thing? But there was one person that didn't do all of that we did, audience. There was one person that didn't do that. And that's Bethenny Frankel, because she wasn't a watcher of the show. She wasn't, as she said, she was not a person who watched the show and did not become interested in the show until the name calling was a thing. And people were talking about how bad they think that the cast bullied Raquel, what the heck is her name? Rachel, on the reunion, and how the attacks were pretty brutal on social media. And I'm not siding with people who called her names and said things, everything from, they hate her to death threats. I'm not saying that stuff is right. I don't wish that on anybody, but let's stop with the whole acting as if she's a victim. Like, I would never consider a woman to be a victim who is a friend or a best friend, or whatever she called herself, or Ariana called her, to do the things that she did in her home, in her bedrooms, with, while she was with her, and on nights where they were together. And I mean, I literally at no point can call her a victim. I think people were rude. I think they were harsh. I don't I can't see how we are, or anybody for that matter, can call her a victim. But when it comes to Bethenny Frankel, I gotta tell you, when I saw on the part 2, when I saw Bethenny break down, when it may have been part 1, not sure, but when I saw Bethenny break down, I don't know why, it almost annoyed me. Now I get it. We are humans with feelings, and Bethenny is a humanitarian and philanthropist, and she cares. She works really hard for the people. I get it. She does. She works really hard for the people. Excuse me. I feel like I'm losing my lighting. Okay, can you see me now? I feel like she works. Excuse me now. So, but I think she works really hard for the people. And so I can understand her breaking down while she discussed how people were talking about her. In that moment, that's when I felt that Bethenny was victimizing her. And I'm also wondering if that was the moment that clicked for Bethenny in how people are going to relate to that interview. If you pay close attention, if you remember Bethenny and how she does things, how she's always done things on the show, it's never been just the normal way to do things. Bethenny has always done Bethenny her way and never gave a crap about how you felt about it. Never. I need more light. Can y'all see me? There might be too much light. Yeah, I'm gonna keep this just like that. Okay. I feel like I'm glowing, huh, now? We're just gonna have to have a little glow. Okay, so I really feel like that this Bethenny has always done things the way she wants to do things. And with Just Be, I think Bethenny went into this as this is going to be fun because she has a couple of podcasts. This is going to be fun. This is going to be a good thing to do. And I think that's how she went into it. This is a new venture and let's go with this. But then Bethenny's show took off. The podcast took off. And people were listening, and her Instagram took off, and people wanted to hear what Bethenny had to say, whether it be silly or funny or because she has a sense of shock factor. Bethenny does. And I think this is something that a lot of people forgot about whenever they watched the episode with Rachel. You got to remember, Bethenny is a very smart businesswoman. And if she's noticing and realizing that her podcast is doing really well, now I'm doing a YouTube channel and it's doing really well, I got to keep that momentum going. And I believe that it was time for Bethenny to elevate the show and boost an audience. Doesn't matter how. I don't think that she foresaw the backlash, but I think that it was time for Bethenny to just add a little pop there and throw something out there to see what the audience was going to get from it. And because You got to think about it. She had her ex-best friend on there. Oh my God, why am I drawing a blank? She had her on the show. And up to the show coming up, I can see her face. That's a shame. And up to the show coming up, she kept showing clips of her being on the show. Because remember the big fallout and they were very close and that sort of thing. And it really made for a great show to see an unexpected guest on the show talking with Bethenny and mending things. Okay? You got to think about this now. And they were able to, I don't know if they were able to just mend it all, but they were able to get together and chat and talk. And it was so good. It was good to listen to. It was good to watch. And it just gave you all the feels, right? So we got this momentum going here. And what's next? Let's have Raquel, what the heck is this child's name? Rachel on the show. Let's have her on the show. And that's why I wanted to chat about this versus spend so much time talking about Rachel. I wanted to spend a little bit more time talking about why Bethenny did what she did. But in return, she ended up with so much backlash. And I think it was a really great move, whether people like it or not. Bethenny is a businesswoman. She's thinking audience and profit. And in this day and age, the bigger the audience, whether they hate you or love you, the higher the profit. And so while all of us are out there being upset with Bethenny, we may need to take note. I think what she did was remarkable. You have the biggest villain of all time on your show. And she is over here literally making an affair sound like pretty much she did what she did because she wasn't who she, like her real and true self. And she couldn't figure out what was going on with her. And I am a better person now, and I'm in a better place now that I have gotten therapy. And not only that, but now I'm going back to my old name. And it became like this whirlwind of crazy town. What could have just been just an affair on a television show, reality show between two people, we now have people like Ariana on Dancing with the Stars and Love Island and all these things. And so I don't quite think that everything that spun off of that would have if it wasn't for Bethenny Frankel's podcast. Her podcast ended up on everybody else's podcasts. Smart. And I kept thinking and saying to myself, with all of the hype and the different perceptions and perspectives from Bethenny Frankel's show, we are in a gold mine of content. We're in a gold mine of merch. We're in a gold mine of reality TV. I mean, guys, you got to start thinking here. Whether we love her or hate her, Bethenny Frankel has absolutely never done anything just the regular, normal way.